All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. That's our show. Tune in again next week for the maybe another song from that game. Hey, welcome to another episode of another Nintendo podcast. I'm Shaboy AC.
And I'm Matt Schultz, coming at you, recorded from Chicago, Illinois.
From Chicago, Hey, Matt. Okay, listen. So we had the idea. So last week, you may recall, our chibi level was high. We were full flame.
Yep.
Flame on, and we were talking about the Nintendo Direct. Man, the things we liked that came out of it.
That's an Avatar reference for all you.
Oh, right, of course. For all you firebenders out there, here's a little one for you. So we're talking about kind of all the things we're excited about and doing some predictions and reflecting. And now it's been a week of cool down. We've been in the cool zone, and we've been now kind of, I think, some time to marinate a little bit on some of the announcements made, but also kind of question what we saw and also what we didn't see.
Yes, because there were some things there that we said in our .01 episode where we made our predictions.
Yeah, long-time listeners will remember the .01 episode, and we really talked about a lot of good prediction options, and some of them did not come to pass.
Unfortunately, yes.
I know. And we thought maybe it would be a good idea to kind of visit some of those in anger. And also in speculation.
Pure Nintendo pettiness.
But really just a lot of pettiness. So let's just kind of have at it. What's the deal with Nintendo nowadays, If it doesn't have that Zelda in her his or her green hat, do they make any games? I don't know. Okay, listen. So, but before we get to that, let's kick it off with just our standard intro fare, the things we know and love, our fans know and love, our fan know and love. And
looking at
Matt,
you, King D.
Looking at you. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Okay, Matt, our first question being our longtime segment, Nintendo in the News. Some other segment name options, maybe the big N in the N, or the big news in the N. Not sure about
I like
that.
The big N in the N.
Big N in the N, baby. Then we do like a little right. Okay. So what, Matt? Hit me. Is there any Nintendo news of the week since we last convened?
Yeah, well, we've got the Switch 5.0 update released, I believe, a day or two ago.
Right. And can I say a little something about that? The numbering on that completely wacky to me, because we
super
are only
unfortunate.
Just getting. And here's the thing: it's like on the surface, that of course does not matter. Like, it is the 5th update. Why on earth should it not be called 5? And it doesn't. It's not as if they're going to run out of numbers as if to enumerate their updates. So it doesn't really matter.
Anniversary is going 5. So you just feel like 5.0 is like the big new.
See, that is the thing for me too, because now on PlayStation, which we rarely talk about on the show, but. The reason was the 5.0 update, and it did bring along some significant stuff for like PlayStation 4 Pro. There's super sampling for all games that are being viewed on a non-4K TV. There's like these sizable updates are rolled out. And it's an annual thing. People can hop on a beta program. So it is kind of funny in comparison. They're not really an issue, but it's just because that has been the baseline that's set for the competitors, that these are substantial. It is funny to already be at 5. So I think this one, the big highlight was like a new... What was it, Splatoon?
I can connect with my Facebook friends, except when I went to do that, none of my friends or people who might have a Switch are not like us. They're not going to... They have no idea that they need to...
No, you'd have to know the update came and get on the right away. And I think the big thing was like there's some new little icons you can be, some new kind of gamer tag-ish.
Yeah, they're cool.
Gamer
There's
icons.
like maybe 15 of them.
I think maybe 20.
ARMS.
Maybe 20... Yes,
and
ARMS
Kirby.
and Split. And is Splatoon on there? Does Splatoon get a little something? Can I be Marina? Can I be Marina now?
I thought it was just purely an ARMS and Kirby update.
Okay, then you're probably right. Yeah, I'm often thinking about the Marina.
But I did go through, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to change my face back to a character.
Yeah. What'd you choose?
Oh, KK Slider.
Oh, it's your boy KK.
Total
on
KK.
The guitar. But thanks for coming on in while we strum your little ditty.
I got my plush here. Here, fingers crossed for a playable KK in Super Smash.
I will say, I have the...
You heard it here first,
Nintendo,
everyone.
You heard it here. Scoop! I have the new Nintendo 3DS, but in the not XL model. Spoilers, I also have the XL and the 2DS XL. But
everyone, just so you know, Austin is quite the collector.
I bought a lot of things. Austin's living at home. Okay, so so I bought the white one, okay?
Right.
And I have a huge number of faceplates for it, but the which I am still buying, even though I don't even use that model very often because I like the bigger screen. However,
yeah, this was the one that like you could completely customize, and it was super cool.
Which is cool, and it only
tons
came
of
to
base
us,
things in Japan that you could buy.
Right, and so you of course can import those. Play Asia my way through a lot of them, but one of my favorites, which you could briefly buy from Nintendo US, is like a KK slider plate. So it's like white, and then it's like KK's face.
Oh my god, yeah,
it's very, very cool.
I was so close to buying that and then importing that because but I was like, no, but I want the larger one.
Right, I know. Because what I did, this is actually a tragic story for me, because what I ended up doing was I do love a good hunt, and you and I both have a love of the amiibo. So
we had quite the amiibo story.
But before any of that, I love a good hunt, and one such thing was the Majora's Mask new 3DS XL, which I like tracked down. I remember I was in a college class at the time. I got a notification on my phone. I like stepped out, ordered it on Best Buy. Would like call Best Buy and be like, "Hey, I want to make sure this is coming in. I'm really looking forward to this." And anyway, so I got it, and it was exciting. The thrill of the hunt often is the best part for these things. But and I liked it, but I was like, oh, it's like kind of big and clunky, but it's still neat. And then when they announced that we were going to be getting the smaller one with the faceplates, I sold it on Craigslist, which then I've forever regretted because it's like the kind of the rarest iteration of that one. Even though I wasn't really that fired up about how it looked. Anyway, I eventually redeemed myself because I got the Samus Returns one, which is nice. Was not as exclusive, but it was. I love some nice. Some Seamus. Yeah, so that's a nice one. In any event, that's my KK Slider story. Let's stay. We'll keep on cooking. But so
the 5.0 update. What did it? We all wanted themes. We all wanted just like maybe a better eShop experience. I think we were kind of teased a little bit by Nintendo about the whole reviews going up. We all kind of love to go on.
Big Switch.
Yeah, I mean, like, wow. It would be so great to go on to the Nintendo eShop and be able to see, this has 4 stars, 5 stars, like an Amazon Prime-esque experience. And I think Nintendo's going in that direction. Like on the Wii U, you could see what people had said about a game.
Right, give us some yas.
And it just feels like, for a successful console like Switch, a year in, you would see some of these things. Like it was so sad when that video went viral of that person had created, where it was like, look at all these folder systems and themes.
So sad.
And you're like,
we're well duped.
It's sad when it's like top news that there's like a potential to get all the things that this console is like 5 years late to. Yeah.
Right. Cloud saves being the biggest one, because I've heard the horror stories. Brian Altano of Nintendo Voice Chat, friend of the show. Just kidding. It's a show we like, although they could be our friends. We would not reject them.
I mean, we've listened to him for years. It's like he's our friend.
Right, exactly, and I'm sure he feels the same way about us. In any event, they talked about the fact that he had an issue where his Switch no longer connected to the dock, and so he sent his Switch into Nintendo. And
I think
there may
have been something about a specific type of dock he used. Like
there was like
some foul play there.
But it wasn't. But that should be something you should be able to experiment with a third party. Yeah, like, whatever controller or accessory without fear of losing all 150 hours of Breath of the Wild and all those cool rocks yet to be found. But yeah, so 5.0.
I'm at 450 rocks. That's where I stand by.
Really, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I'm sub 200 because I'm a weak man.
I've just explored too much.
Yeah.
Anyways,
my biggest crime is loving to explore.
So cloud saves being a major thing that was missing.
Right.
And obviously, I don't think we're going to get that until we get a full online.
That'll be update 54, and it's coming in September.
Before we get at least 5 or 6 fake leaks about.
Right, that's part of the fun. I remember that one, the one you were referencing. It was like people found out it was fake because like Mario Kart Deluxe 8 took up like an inappropriately small amount of space or something.
Kudos to the internet. Yeah,
they really cracked it. Wouldn't let them get away with that one.
So that was a major thing in the news. So make sure your Switches are updated, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really really pressing to get on there and download that. Okay, let's keep going. Matt, next segment. We always know what you been playing. What you been grinding on?
So I'm a little bit late to this train, but I recently downloaded
Spirit Tracks. Love it.
Good game. Tracks,
yeah, and I love the conductor bit, and it gets spooky because Zelda's just not a good place, and she's phantomish.
It's like Phantom Hourglass and Wind Waker, but on a train. No, I've been playing a lot of Puyo Puyo Tetris actually, and specifically Puyo Puyo. I know this is not like a blow away, like whoa, yeah, you should all get out there and play this game. But I've been taking a lot of flights recently, and I've been on there with my partner, and her and I This is one of those games where like I'm super into big action adventure type games. I also like obscure indie type games, but she likes the puzzle games. And this was the Switch concept like just came to life for us on all these flights, and just we got so into Puyo Puyo specifically because she kicks my ass in Tetris. So I was like, all right, screw this, I'm gonna switch over to Puyo.
I know, and I do feel there might be like a slight edge to the Puyo because you can really get those combos rocking and rolling once you set up like a correct descending staircase of Puyo colors. But yeah, no, absolutely. That game is really good. But I gotta say this about the adventure mode. I like all the voice acting and the characters are like totally fun, and I did finish it. And I'm not always so good at finishing the games because I do buy more games than I possibly could finish. But I did finish that one, and I gotta say, every time those characters say the word Puyo, I experienced a lot of feelings. I'm still kind of working my way through. It's a little bit of a strange world.
Puyo.
And the word Puyo. And there's a lot of they're making they have a lot of kind of visceral, kind of guttural sound. It was an interesting world. I was happy to spend time in, and I'm ready to leave.
I love the din din and din din and din din and din, and then it like switches into some like Puyo theme, and they blend it really well together, and you're like, whoa.
I can't even tell you the Puyo one is, but I do love them. Our friends in Russia will know that, I'm sure. Listening to now that's a recurrent theme, as I kind of keep calling. This, of course, they're welcome to listen. Although they've been bad to the British recently, we might be.
In actual news, we can get to that. How many delegates did we
Marine Le Pen. Okay, so good chat on that. You've been playing Puyo. I've been playing now. And Matt, full disclosure, we also experiment with other games, which are great in their own way too. So I've been playing some Assassin's Creed Origins on the PlayStation, which is not something that's in the Nintendo realm.
Boo.
But I know, which is very bad of me, but I want to be honest.
I hope everyone flames them in the comments.
I hope everyone writes a comment.
King D, you hear me? I want you to toast them.
And you know what? I did. Matt, this was going to be one of the segments too, and now we're kind of getting too far into the show, and because I'm sure we've lost all of our viewers by this point. But I want to give a shout out, of course, to the king himself, and really just being a fantastic listener, King D Daniel, our boy,
for spreading our podcast to all of their friends.
I know, honestly, but truly very cool. Really do appreciate all the comments. Yeah. And you know what? And we're gonna have a Kirby episode rolling out here pretty soon, Matt. And King D has had some good Kirby content on his channel. He was playing doing some run-throughs of that too. So you know what? That's
definitely
a little synergy there.
And we both played the demo, and I think we're gonna try to save that for another podcast.
Yes, I think we're gonna do that before it launches, which is tomorrow. Okay, so good chat there. But the thing I did finish actually this week was I had never finished Pokemon Sun. I got to the very middle of it and then put it aside when it came out back in, I guess, 2016, and did not stop me from picking up Ultra Sun, but I beat Sun and just thought it was great. I mean, that game is really the perfect example of all the power of a 3DS kind of coming together stylistically, and there's a lot of attention to detail. Crazy how many Pokemon are rendered in that game and have such all the different types of trainers and the ways in which the characters emote and all the different battle locations and the ways the Pokemon you can give them a good little rub when they're good or bad, whatever they've been, you can give them a little rub.
They're naughty, it doesn't matter.
Right, and you got it, and that's kind of the way to really have that tactile feel. But the game has so many fun systems and looks totally wonderful. It has an art style that perfect use of 3DS, and it'll be interesting to see what they do when they come to Switch. But I think this is the ultimate, really compliment, in the same way that Black and White were really excellent send-offs for the DS, and the pixel art was really at a peak, and they had a great sense of depth even in that style. They really did everything possible. I felt the same way about Sun. Really enjoyed that game. So we did that segment. Quick countdown to E3. Matt, E3 this year, June 12th, 2018. How many days we got left before then?
A lot of days.
We do. And those days are 89. We have 89 days till E3. That's a little countdown there. And gut reaction, Matt, if you had to get one game announced at E3 right now, what would it be?
Oh, my most hyped game would be Animal Crossing
Crossing. And then our last segment, Matt, is not what you've been playing, but what you've been spending. You buy any good game things recently? Or I also thought an alternate name for this segment would be maybe the confessional, because I know we bear a lot of guilt about maybe making these purchases, but also
for sure.
This is a strictly Catholic podcast, as we all know, and so I really want to play into that big Catholic
this is
fun joke.
Yeah, we'll call this your first confessions.
But yes, what have you been picking up, or looking forward to picking up?
Well, Father Austin, I have spent.
I've pre-ordered.
I put in $100 on. The way I do it is I go through Amazon.
Right, not familiar.
I spend $100 there because I'm trying to earn point. I get 5% cash back through Amazon, so I buy.
Absolutely, it's for the points. Everyone, chill the heck out.
Yeah, that's right. So I buy the $100 gift card there, and then I put it onto my Switch. And then I'll download the games that way.
You know what I tend to do? That's a good strategy. But another thing that also works well is, although it seems pretty much equivalent point-wise, however, let me have my moment. Something I like to do is I follow Wario64 on Twitter, excellent for the deals. Yeah. And often they'll be like, eBay will have like a PayPal discount where it's like, $100 card, $85, just something like that, and I'll buy like one or two. Very exciting. That's a great way to do it. But also, for those of you out there, I'm a big fan of the Target, as we well documented, I'm sure, on this show, Target. And with the red card, debit card, you don't need to do anything special for it. Just give them the routing number and account number, just sign that right away to Target. But you save 5% on all purchases, so that is a great way to also get gift cards. Because they're always 5% off.
That's fantastic.
Which is a sweet deal. We were just talking about Sea of Thieves before the show, and you can also do something like that for the console. Then you save $15 right there, and now we're talking. Now we got a stew going.
I know, and I always get. I mean, if you've got Amazon Prime, right, you get the 10% off the
sweet thing,
the box games, which is fantastic. But if you're a Switch owner, you're trying to most likely steer away from owning too much non-digital content.
Yeah, is it 20% off possibly? The games are like 47.
It's definitely more than 10%. I don't know the exact. Like it's like you save like $12 or $13 on a game.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that we're kind of at right now with the physical and digital, because I've bought everything digitally, and I've been doing that also on the 3DS. And Nintendo's account system is not great, so that is the like kind of liability you walk into with the stuff. But I have made the digital conversion. But it's interesting because when pre-ordering games on Amazon, you can save certainly some good money. However, if you want to be a strictly physical collector, a lot of those games, especially the indie stuff, have limited runs. And then it'll be like, if you want Axiom Verge on Switch, it's like $30 or whatever, because I have to make the cartridge, which is expensive. Of course, that was a problem for the N64 back in the day, and the PlayStation had its moment rise into power because the CD was so easy to create on. But so it's like you can save money with box stuff. Way to go, Big N! Just another goof in the grand history of goof. But for the case of those physical games, it's like you're going to save a little money, but then if you want to have everything physical, then you're certainly going to spend more. But it's neat for those people who want to collect those things. But I just love that Digi, because you got everything right there, and it's like a dear friend. And then it's like you get it digitally on there, and the great thing is then you're like, hey, I got a trip coming up in the next 2 or 3 calendar years. Like, I'm just going to buy a few games, have them here on the Switch, and then when it's me on the desert island with a USB-C charger, it's like then I'm just gonna play through all these and they're all there, no worries.
Unless you put it in a third-party dock, then they're all gone.
And then you've made your choice. You signed your deal with the dock. That's another one of our, of course, Catholic.
Right. I actually own only 2 hard copies. I've got. For me, it's owning the major titles. So I really wanted Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. Physical copies.
It is totally fun to have the box. I'm always sympathetic to that. And I save all my boxes for things, so I do. Yeah.
I wanted I wanted to juxtapose that box with the Wii U ones, and my 3DS ones. They're all next to each other.
But I gotta say, those blue Wii U boxes, they were so nice. I liked the look of the blue plastic on it.
Oh, the blue looked better than the green and the what
Absolutely, the green one looked a bit cheap, even though I do also have a love for the Xbox on 360. And then for PS3, they had a couple different boxes, but overall, it's just clear white.
Yeah, right.
Clear, not really white.
But I like the thin boxes now. I think they're great.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm with you on that, and that's for sure. Okay, so did you buy a thing? Wait, did you buy a thing? Did we finish that?
Well, no. So what I bought was the gift card, because I have a series of games in my wish list on. So if you don't know, you can actually add some games to your wish list via the eShop, and they're not very easy to go and find after. You have to scroll over to your little icon.
And I wish it would send you an email. This is true for iTunes as well, so you're on Watch Apple. But I wish it would I see this game's in your wish list. It's on discounted
sale
this week. Here's an email. They want that Skrilla. Make it a little easier. I mean, I'm going to check anyway, so I guess it's not really on them, but it would be nice.
And
it would be totally nice.
And that's one of those features I was like, 5.0, this is going to be great. I think it's also weird that eShop doesn't have its fancy little eShop music. I felt like I was shopping, I mean, because I don't know. I didn't have my own Xbox 360. My brother had his own, so I had a Wii. And my first experience of digital games was in that virtual store with that little kind of through the loudspeaker and the ceiling music. Yeah. And it was, I don't know. I have good memories of that. So
right. No, absolutely.
I miss it.
I mean, that was, and you know, you and I both, buddy. But it's it is true of that. Also, in the case of the Wii U, it was somewhat its downfall. I do miss how lively the Wii U was, but also you did end up having to wait a good, 2 minutes to get the Miiverse and everything loading. So you do make a trade for the snappiness. I will say that.
Yes.
But yes. Okay. What I have done. These are my confessions. I did, even though we talked about last week and I was on the fence. Maybe I had a couple drinks and I got home and I was like, you know what? I am going to get that little Splatoon DLC. So I pre-ordered that. So I get my little headphones.
Okay, so I've been wanting to do this. And I was half asleep. I went on the Switch the other night and I was like, okay, I'm going to go buy this. Then I couldn't find it.
Buy me a little happy. Well, you have to go into Splatoon and then it's into DLC and then it's a drop-down menu. Not even kidding.
I got to go into the game, so it's not. That's interesting.
No, it's in the eShop. It's in the eShop, but you search it as if it were the game. And you find it, and then under the name of it, there's a little drop down, and it's DLC.
Interesting. They should just create its own little icon badge as this is an expansion, to this game. And
no, I know that would be cool.
Anyways, so cool. So you bought that.
I did get that. I'm excited about that. And the more I've been listening and looking into it, certainly it gives me another reason to revisit Splatoon, which is a game honestly I've not picked up since Odyssey. I kind of transitioned on.
I was playing some Splatoon just before this.
Okay, well, thanks for the invite, buddy. But because there's going to be 80 some odd levels, and there's Pearl and Marina, my girls.
Yeah.
And
which you can pre-order on Amazon now.
Oh well, if you hadn't already pre-ordered them on Best Buy, thank you very much.
Oh, but you could buy them for 3 times the amount on Amazon now.
Very, very good, thank you. I did actually I did pre-order the amiibo for the. Praise the Sun, Dark Souls amiibo, and it is now sold at the GameStop. So I'm very excited about getting that little piece of history there. It's like owning a piece of the Berlin Wall, but it's an amiibo of a game I really have no affection for, but felt the need to buy a figure. Very similar, but let's talk about. So we talked about those, which is great, and let's now go into our main segment of the show now. So the idea was to talk about the things that were not at the Nintendo Direct last week. That was on March 8th, 2018. So what was missing? Mario was missing. Mario! And so we want to talk a little bit about those games that weren't there. So to kick us off, Kotaku had a story last week about, as we talked about, Matt, that there have been 110, now I believe 111 Directs, but not all of them are exclusive to the United States. And as such, Japan, still, I know, so the divide East v West is still great. Again, the Berlin Wall. But so they also had some games highlighted in their version that were not there for us, and so we want to talk about them. The first of which is in the Saga franchise. Now, I do not really have any connection to this, so a lot of these are honestly going to be fast. Saga, for me, I've only ever played Final Fantasy Adventure, which is the first of the Saga games.
Super Japanese RPG game, right? The Saga series.
Totally, and there aren't even really that many. But it's mainly a series that existed on PlayStation, but originally the Saga games were on Game Boy, and as a way to bring it to Western audiences, because Final Fantasy was so popular here, no small effort on the side of Nintendo Power and whatnot, really promoting Final Fantasy as being this can't miss title. So the methodology, or the frame of mind for developers back in the day of the early days of the Game Boy was to create an NES kind of clone, step down on the Game Boy. So we got Super Mario Land, right? Super Mario Brothers, of course, on the NES, being a slightly different adventure, but something that's kind of similar. And there were a lot of games kind of in that fold, or we had Donkey Kong. Though we had Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, we had other. What am I thinking of? Is it Donkey Kong Land? What am I even doing? Well, there were 3 iterations on of Donkey Kong there for their handheld counterparts. This is, of course, before the days of the Switch, where now, very excitingly, we have one game that spans both mediums. But back then, this was the kind of way they were doing it, and Final Fantasy Adventure is an example of that, because this game existed kind of as, hey, I have a little Final Fantasy Legend, Final Fantasy Adventure, I believe, is Secret Sword of Mana. But in any event, they wanted to rebrand and make it a game, so to boost the sales, that was in the Final Fantasy franchise. So I have some familiarity there, but not really beyond that. And then it's been a PlayStation series since. But it would be exciting. I'm so open to playing all these games, especially JRPGs, because it's like, hey, bring it with me on the go. I'll play it when I play it. That was kind of what got me to pick up Xenoblade, despite I did enjoy Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and did beat that back on the Wii. But, it was maybe a little more on the fence for 2. And it was like, oh, you know what? Wasn't on the fence. I was excited for it, but I'm trying to spin the story so it kind of matches the narrative of what I'm saying. But I wanted to pick it up to have it on the go, and now I promptly played about 5 hours of it and never picked it back up. But maybe I will at some point. In any event, Saga. That's the first. Any other thoughts on that?
No, in fact, the other two that we're going to talk about, I don't know much about.
Okay, Phantasy Star Online 2. I've never played a Phantasy Star game, but I want to say this. So this is one of the few examples of where there is like a pseudo region locking on the Switch, because something that is cool about the Switch, and it's a big step for Nintendo.
You could take it. You could buy this and play it on your Switch.
However, this is where they get you, because these are online-only games. Same thing goes for Dragon Quest X, which has not come out in America ever. That's an MMO. In the same vein as like Final Fantasy XI, some of us might know.
You're not going to be on the server, and there's not going to be anyone there.
Right, because the only way to get onto the server, it like pings your location to make sure you are actually in Japan, or whatever the regions are that are covered by that type of,
Yeah, so loophole to their whole.
So you would have to find some way of setting up like a proxy server that rerouted you through, and it probably would induce, incur tons of lag, and the whole game's going to be in Japanese. So that is totally prohibitive.
Sounds awesome.
Even though you could, sounds awesome. Look forward to that release. Even though you could download it, you just wouldn't really be able to do anything with it. Dragon Quest X. I really do have a love for the Dragon Quest series, but I'm by no means a master of them. I've only beaten Dragon Quest IX. I recently started Dragon Quest V on DS, which actually that's another one of my confessionals, I guess. And have a love for Rocket Slime. And I also got Builders on the Switch, which I very much enjoyed, and I've put probably about 5 or 6 hours into. But I think that series just has a lot of charm. I love a good JRPG, but the charm and the colorful monster design, the stories often are hard, have a lot of heart, have like a good moral, and it's really a fantastic series. It'd be great. Dragon Quest XI, which would be a segue from this segment, which I've now blown because it's too early. But
the first
that was the
Nintendo
first game.
Switch game. Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me, NX confirmed game.
Right, yeah, a little throwback there. A little Project Cafe. Wasn't it the Wii U? What was the code name?
Project Cafe was the Wii U, yeah, and then
yeah. Dolphin was the
Dolphin was GameCube. Dolphin was GameCube. Revolution was Wii. I don't know what 64 was. Man, remember when they announced that it was the Wii? Can you remember where you were when you heard that it was going to be the Wii? Because I actually can't remember where I was. I think I was watching it on the internet. I think I watched it like as I don't think it was a live stream at the time. I think I was just watching it through IGN or something.
Yeah, I remember I was in high school and I had a friend who was like, and they were like, what? Wii? And we all had a good lol about it. Yeah, exactly. That like the eyes, the little Pixar-ish eyes.
We would like to play.
We would like to play. And it's like Red Steel. And it's like, no, I would not like to play, please.
I mean, when they were first like showing the Wii remote looked
you're a chef
sexy.
And you're behind the couch and you're shooting, and then you have a sword.
And you're hearing all these Nintendo sound bites. You're like, that's Mario Kart, that's Zelda, that's
because there was no Star Fox. Was that the one that was no screen? It was just like the people.
Yeah, they didn't show you anything. They were just like trying to show you a concept.
Masters of the Reveal. Yeah, that was a nice one. That was a real nice one. And then lightning struck twice. The Wii U came out and shocked the world. So the okay, back to this really fast. So, yes, Dragon Quest XI, which is a traditional single-player JRPG, which looks wonderful, is not out, nor announced a date for the Switch in Japan or the United States. It is out on PS4 and 3DS. And did you even see, Matt, there was when this game came out last year, by all accounts, it's great. It looks beautiful. It's really cool because the 3DS version of this game has like traditional visuals, so it looks like
this looks beautiful. It's
like an NES game,
to play in your hands, and
it has but it has like the two graphic styles, so you can play it like a old school kind of top down, which is cool. But there was a version you could buy, like a physical, like some boxed copy. You could buy that had both a PS4 disc and a 3DS cartridge, which was very cool to see those two things in one package. Because of course it's Sony and the Nintendo, kind of the the Nintendo PlayStation of days of old that we of course never received, but it was neat. Anyway, it would be interesting to see what version of that game, when we do get it on Switch, assuming it does come still, we get. Will it be like the PS4 version with the HD visuals, or would it be something like the 3DS and the handheld geared visuals, or something in between, or ideally have the option to do both? And maybe that's why it's taking them a little longer to put those things together.
And I want to see how they're going to market it in the West. especially on the
for
Switch.
sure.
I want to see how big of a push that might be.
But I gotta think Dragon Quest Builders probably did pretty well, because that game had a lot of positive buzz on PS3 and PS4, and it's about to get a sequel.
Right.
And it's really...
They got a lot of momentum right now.
Totally, and it's like, a fun Minecraft-based building that has more quest-based things. It's, really charming and fun. I'm not a Minecraft person, just because just age-wise, and I don't really have a connection to it, but I have really enjoyed this, and it has a lot of those trappings. One last thing that did not come to us. Have you ever played...
Wargroove was not there. Just kidding.
The Taiko...
I need to bring it up in every podcast.
Wars, where the Taiko Drum Master. Have you ever played this or seen this?
No. Yes, I have seen it and never played it. But I love drumming rhythm type games in general.
Totally.
So.
And this game, the Switch version for it, so I have not played it. I did work at a GameStop back in the day, full disclosure. Please, sign up for the Edge Rewards card today and pre-order as many people as you can. But, we'd always have this, and it has really cute little characters and whatnot. And this game also I would see, like, in arcades, like the Sega Game Works, which was a Seattle arcade that I believe is still around, maybe on the out. In any event, but it is like a fun rhythm game with the drumming, and it's kind of simple enough. It came out kind of in the same era as your Guitar Heroes, but unlike Guitar Hero, you're just beating on that drum, so doesn't quite demand the dexterity perhaps that might be prohibitive for a young person on Guitar Hero, though they seem to manage just fine. But it's cool, and in the trailer, it's got neat Switch features. You use the Joy-Cons to drum, and it has songs like from Odyssey, like One Up, Jump Up Superstar.
They've got
One Up Girl.
Any Breath of the Wild stuff?
I don't know that it does. I mean, I can't. I love Breath of the Wild. I don't know what would be like. What would be like a good tune to really get a good beat drumming on that? I don't. And there must be one. Maybe one of like Daruk or
maybe just when the I don't know the freaking what the hell are their names?
Zeldas. The Guardians? Champions?
No, the little pig
Koroks?
creatures. What the hell? Why am I forgetting their names? The Bokoblins. There you go.
Bokoblins, yeah, sure.
Or however you pronounce them. I know a lot of people pronounce them differently. But one of them maybe blows the horn, and then you just hear like the drums playing.
And it's kind of just like a little freestyle rap on top of that thing. And here comes the Bokoblin, Moblin, talk about a... That's all I got.
I think that'd be great.
I think it would be too, and I can't imagine
maybe it'll be
like this.
DLC.
Maybe they'll sample what I just gave them, and they'll use that. But it has that and Splatoon. It has a track from Splatoon on there. So neat. I would totally. That's and right now there is no rhythm games are certainly not in vogue, but that would be something that would be unique to the Switch and something I could easily convince myself to be like, oh, well, it'd be good for that time when I meet a person on a thing and they want to play a rhythm game and I have this thing and whatever. It would be fun to have that. On there, so let's hope it comes over. It does remind me, of course, of Donkey Konga, which is a little blast from the past.
Love Donkey
way back
Konga.
When, but love that Konga. That game had
if
covers
anyone's never
of like
played
Rock
that,
Lobster.
It came with a peripheral, actual Konga.
Bongo. Yep.
Donkey Kong Jungle Beat was the official name of the
third game, but that was
the third game on the GameCube, right?
Yeah, a third. So there's two Kongas.
Well, there's one
Konga
in.
1, Konga 2.
There was a Japanese specific one, right?
I think there was a third, possibly.
Oh.
So this is something we. Okay,
this is great. I played Jungle Beat and it was fantastic.
Jungle Beat was wonderful, but that was one that was a platformer, and that was made by the same team, I believe, who did Galaxy. So no surprise there that that's like really wonderful. But Konga before then was a rhythm game where you.
It was like in the vein of Guitar Hero, where you had beats that you had to hit,
and you could clap or snap or whatever, or just kind of tap the microphone area. And there had
blow.
Like pretty much terrible.
Blow the microphone area.
You can always blow that microphone area, and that's the Kong likes that. But the it had like really terrible music of the time. I think maybe like some Skater Boy type things, and definitely a cover of Rock Lobster by Not the B-52s, which is a song that I have a love for, but it's already pushing it as is, let alone like a kids pop rendition. But anyway, cool that existed, and this reminds me that it'd be fun to have that come back. Also because we're kind of in the year of the Kong, because we do have Tropical Freeze coming out and the DLC for Rabbids.
It's the I think it's Kong time, baby. Actually.
Oh, year of the Octo, excuse me. Yes, Octopath Traveler and Octolings. That's two, and literally nothing else. That's enough for the year. Okay, let's talk about some other games that were not there that previously been announced. We talked about Dragon Quest XI.
Yeah.
Yosh. Also that, true. Let's start with Yosh.
Oh, yeah,
so kind of a silent year for Yoshi, because he did appear last year towards the Switch's release.
Yeah,
right?
and they gave it pretty decent showing. Like, there's a lot of good footage of the game. Of course, it's a trailer, but it looks beautiful. It looks so good, and
it's like somewhere in between the look of Woolly World and like almost the game, like Super Mario. One more time, Paper Mario Color Splash.
I think the vibrant colors of like Color Splash, and just kind of the way. Because there's some cardboard things real. There.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's a Labo game now, but it does have those elements that look a little bit like.
Do you think that's what this is going to be?
No, I don't think so. But Labo, another thing that was not there, which wasn't really a surprise. I think they've kept that separate.
Super separate.
But yeah, I don't know. But it is interesting because I was reflecting recently. Since the release of the Switch, there has not been a major Nintendo game to be delayed, right?
Right.
Of course, Breath of the Wild was delayed many times, but by the time they announced it for the Switch, it was at least they stuck to it for March 3rd. But for everything else,
for 2018.
Yeah, Yoshi's kind of, not that they've delayed it, but it has not ever landed with like a firm release date, which is a little interesting. I wonder if they might go back to the drawing board at all on that one. But then I don't know, judging probably unfairly by Kirby, which plays it so safe based on the demo. I kind of would be surprised if they're like, we really need to retool Yoshi. I feel like if they had some concept, they would just kind of crank it out.
But Yoshi and Kirby for a while now have kind of played that, like, worthy, play it safe, gonna be a decent game for sure. Youth who are on our console. Right. And for our hardcore Yoshi and Kirby fans, you're gonna pick it up and you're gonna find it enjoyable maybe, or maybe you won't.
But you'll still buy it.
But you'll still give us your money.
It's so to the plight of the Nintendo person. Speaking of which, next week, giving my money to Detective Pikachu. That's coming out on 3DS. Woo,
Are you going to pick up Nintendo Pikachu?
Absolutely. I'm going to pick up that nice 40 to 50-year-old detective. Here we go. You're going to miss all the gameplay when it's like, you got to match those 3 colors, detective, if you want to find out who stole the cookie. Probably that equivalent of that type of tension.
I mean, if Professor Layton shows up, I'd be interested.
Yeah, probably. And he's like...
There's got to be a Layton reference.
I mean, it's not even like a Nintendo property, but you know what? Yeah, I'm with you. You solve a puzzle, and you get 3 like meditative images
just
of
put him in the background
Pikachu,
somewhere.
Like fingers under the chin, looking up, finger pointed dead ahead, kind of like a you got it. And maybe Detective Pikachu's followed around by like a little Pichu in like a delightful little blue sweater, and there's like some level of curiosity what the relationship is between Pikachu and Pichu, but it's fine.
Instead of Pika,
he just looks up to him.
Yells, Professor.
And
you're like, oh, sorry, I mean, Pika.
Right, Pika. Okay, let's talk about the other things. Shin Megami Tensei 5. So, SMT. I have played a bit of SMT4, which is on 3DS, but not played any of the other ones, honestly.
Same.
But Persona, played through most of Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, but I'm not a diehard Persona fan, even though I like a lot of what it's doing. But it does stand to a reason to chat about it, because Shin Megami Tensei 5... is Atlus's kind of main series, although Persona is definitely their most popular. But Persona spun out of SMT, and there was you might recall, this is now maybe a couple months ago, but Atlus sent out a survey to all of their those people on their mailing list, asking like, where would you like to play, or what series are you interested in? And it did list for Persona 6, not that it's been announced, and of course just a survey, but like, would you buy it on PlayStation? Like I don't know, maybe Xbox on there, Nintendo Switch. So it is interesting, because that would be a Persona 4 Golden, which was the best version of that game, was really wonderful on the Vita. It would be great to see Persona 5 Golden or something equivalent. That's a game I've kind of stalled on buying on PlayStation, only because I know how long those games are and involved. So it would be really great to have that on the Switch. Also, the Persona Q series for 3DS has gotten 2, I think one of which is not out, but 2 entries that are in the kind of Etrian Odyssey vein, which are great games, and that combine elements of the Persona characters from 3 and 4 in the first game. And that's a 3DS game, so that is an example of Atlus using that Persona license on a non-Sony console, which is very cool. It would be neat to see that. So it's a little bit of an aside. There's no SMT. Again, SMT4 was a 3DS game, and then there was an expanded version of it also on 3DS. They certainly support longtime supporters of Nintendo. Would be great to see, though. Persona, which also reminds me, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which was that game that was a Fire Emblem Cross SMT.
Yes.
Came out on Wii U, and I did not pick it up, but really did want to, but it was just towards the end of the Wii U's life.
It was such a bizarre-looking game.
Totally bizarre,
to an average American audience.
But I would totally love to play it. Like, it was vibrant and colorful, had, like, weird crossover with Crom and other characters and villains in the Fire Emblem series, and the weapon triangle, and these fun characters, and the emphasis on like texting one another. Persona always does a great job taking these JRPG mechanics and supplanting them into a modern setting. Like it would be a perfect game for the Switch, and I'm sure the game sold so poorly. It would be awesome to see it get at least re-recognized.
Yeah, I can see that. So you're saying that you probably will see that on Switch at some point.
I am just hopeful. I've heard other people kind of muse that they think it's more likely.
I'm sure they can pass it to a team to take care of that.
Yeah, I would hope so, but we're yet to see it. Though, there are a lot of ports for sure on the Switch, which is all good. Nothing wrong with more games, especially with these ones getting, many of them, a little bump in either resolution or frame rate or features. But I would say, though, I don't think we've really been yet to see like a Wii U exclusive that is not a major Nintendo game get an announced port. Now we have Captain Toad, Tropical Freeze, Mario Kart, and Pokken, so that's kind of, I guess, a half in between, because that's a Bandai Namco joint.
But you're talking about like a 3D world or
those are all the big ones. I'm just trying to think of like what are some Switch exclusive that were third party, or somewhat third party, because that was an Atlas game that have made it. I guess my point is the Wii U games that have made it to the Switch have been the big ones. It'll be interesting to see if they go for some of these slightly deeper cuts. I guess somewhat Bayonetta 1 and 2. That's a little bit of
the ones that have the appeal, like the ones that had everything but an install base.
Right, which were every game on the Wii.
Yeah, and it's it's like free money for Nintendo at this point.
Right.
Like, this fantastically critically acclaimed game that sold next to nothing because there were only 13 million Wii U owners.
Right.
Sweet. And, we'll pick up maybe 20% of those people will buy it again, and then we'll have, I don't know, another million people maybe, or 500,000 buy it for the first time.
Yeah, it's worth the port effort for sure, especially with all that. Yeah, and it's a neat Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I think that's like #NT or something to that effect. But because Tokyo Mirage Sessions is SMT backwards, so that's kind of a fun thing. But that bit, it'd just be exciting to see that game.
Totally knew that.
Totally knew that for sure. Big old SMT rearranged fan.
Classic.
Spawned a puzzle. Classic. Okay, let's keep going. We know the same thing on Tropical Freeze. We do know it's coming out May 4th.
Yep. And, I think everything's been said about Tropical Freeze. We know it's the Cranky Kong edition, or no, who not Cranky Kong? Funky Kong. That's right. It's got a fancy label.
Yeah, no, that's all right. And I'm a big fan of Sleepy Kong and Happy Kong.
And Dopey Kong, really.
Dopey Kong and Sneezy Kong and Doc Kong. www.dockong.com.
Princess Kong is my favorite, though.
I'm sorry, which Kong was that? Which Dong was that? What donkey wrong was that? Excuse me?
Moving on.
The Rabbids DLC, also another DK joint, Jan 12, 2017, nothing about that. And I do think that is something I have liked, honestly, about the Nintendo Directs, is that they provide all of these game announcements, but they always have a few that we've already been made privy to, but have not... it feels like they're able to announce tons of games without having to dip into, with some exceptions, we saw more of the Aces, Mario Tennis, but
which is good. We need to see more.
Which is good, and the game's coming out.
We need to see that much of it,
but it's like they don't. Not all the directs are the exact same. Even if the games have, there are still games to come out. They don't always repeat the properties, and so it always feels like just extra on top of what it feels like a pretty solid foundation, or at least frequently reminded of, and that's.
It's always very interesting to see what they decide to promote and why and how much time they dedicate. Like clearly, Aces was the game they were trying to push this time around, and I get it because they're probably thinking down the line they're not going to have a lot of airtime for Aces. But I don't know about you, but I was sold on Aces as soon as the first minute.
For sure. Absolutely.
But YouTubers and all the fans around the world are going to replay that same footage over and over again. I think there's enough now to just kind of let it go.
We prefer to be called YouTubers now. Thank you very much.
Oh, the Tubbers.
We're trying to reclaim the Tubber word, so if you could please help us on our plight. I'm totally with you on that. I think it's just they do a good job at, like you said, highlighting the big things, but it's not like every time it was like, and just a reminder, Rabbids DLC, and just a reminder, Tropical Freeze, and just a reminder, I do like it. Feels like a lot of fresh content with a few emphasized things you already know. Fire Emblem, They've said that's coming, but
right.
we have
so
not seen it.
This was one of my predictions, and they've told us. I mean, I think they have every reason to believe that that's probably one of their bigger games prior to Smash Brothers. I mean,
I'm with you.
There's got to be.
You think prior? You think it's going to come out before?
Smash Brothers? Yeah. I think Smash Brothers is going to be their big holiday release, and we don't, like I said, we don't have anything for that. What is it, like August, September, October period, where Mario Odyssey kind of filled that gap last year.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have that, and I'm. There has to be something other than just. There has to be something that's going to be coupled with Nintendo's online infrastructure that they're going to announce. And I actually believe that it'll probably come out. That'll probably be the Super Smash Brothers release. And so if Smash isn't coming out in November, like it traditionally has, and let's say it gets coupled with the release of the online system, because what better way to unveil that than with a mega hit game like that? Then what comes in November? That's the question. Potentially a Fire Emblem or Animal Crossing.
Oh yes, happy boy design.
Animal Crossing switcheroo.
Switcheroozy. I know we have to get back on our Animal Crossing kind of lore theory and kind of trace through where we thought that was going. Like, where did they go after camping? Go for a nice bath. So they're going maybe to like a beach location. Okay, in any event, yes, I'm with you on those things. Other games, briefly, Hollow Knight. We know is coming.
Yeah,
Switch heard possibly soon. That would be a neat one. I'm looking forward to that. Love those Metroid style games, Metroidvania, and then
Diablo 3 drops tonight.
We're happy to announce exclusively on this pod. Check the eShop right now, boys and girls, Castillo. But there was a series of kind of interesting events last week where basically one of the people on the Diablo team tweeted an image of a light switch that had the Diablo logo on it, and it was like everyone's like, okay, Diablo on Switch.
Yeah.
And the comment was something to the effect of like, whatever, good night or sweet dream. I don't know. Something lame, but everyone grabbed onto what else could this possibly be.
Yeah.
And then in classic Blizzard fashion, they kind of came out and they're like, we have nothing to announce at this time. It was an independent action. But it seems like that's a real slam dunk. And that's another game that was also on PS3 and 360. So it really shouldn't have a big issue getting onto the Switch.
No, it's definitely coming. And I'd be shocked if it wasn't announced by E3.
Totally. I think that's a good call. Pokemon, nothing, but that's not a surprise. Lastly, Smash 5. Of course, was announced. So this is now a little bit of a departure of things we talked about. But I thought it'd be wise of us to give a little update on what's now the conversation regarding Smash.
Yeah, we've got a couple of things, yeah.
So whether or not it's going to be Smash for Wii U, for 3DS, for Switch, or is it going to be Smash 5? The bigger things, Breath of the Wild, Link.
Yep, we got his lovely locks. We can see it's him.
And yep, absolutely, yeah, the lovely that characteristic Link locks, and then as well as the at the end there's a copyright logo for HAL, and Bandai Namco did Field,
an original game from HAL Labs.
Yep. It seems, but although I think that seems more like them citing the IP and not
they're saying exactly. But I'm just saying that that was mentioned. That was kind of one of those controversial things. Like, whoa, it says original game. Well, no, this is their,
right. This is their original concept from 2000 or whenever that first came out. The
Sakurai news, right?
Right, exactly. Take it away.
So he's definitely working his ass off on this game, and he's he's come forth and said that this is. He hasn't confirmed that this is a new game, but
right, no, he is not. But you got to think that window for them saying it is just closing faster. Like
it's close. It is close. The window to say it was when the Smash letters came spewing onto that screen. It could have been like
came splatting on that screen.
Deluxe, like with fire under it or something.
Parentheses. This is the Wii U version again. You're welcome.
Yeah.
But yes.
I heard some interesting takes, and I do think that it's going to be just a lot of the same assets that they're using for the Wii U. They're going to update
all
those.
HD.
All HD, yep. Probably a lot of similar stages, but we're going to get a ton of new stuff. There's been enough time to use the I guess like the platform or the base of stuff that developers have right now to get them to a point where this game could look still brand new but also feel familiar.
Totally. I think that leads me to my final point on it. It's like the more I think about it, it's like, especially when we kind of frame it like that, and I think that's kind of how the conversation is at the moment. It's like, well, you could use all this stuff easily from the Wii U version. The Switch isn't really that much more powerful. They have HD assets already. Like, everyone really, there isn't a lot you'd have to tweak to this, how it ran or played and felt great. On Switch, it's definitely the best competitor to Melee as far as like that technical take, but with the more casual element, which I think is good for the series, and it was my favorite installment, or there's certainly the installment I would revisit the most would be Smash 4. I thought really nailed that balance, but I guess my final point would be: does it really matter if it is just a remake?
No, totally not.
Totally not. No, especially because we're all like, I hope like Corneria's, I hope Great Fox is on there. Like, I hope it's got all the base characters from the from the Wii U one. It's like at that point you're just talking about what it could be a port or a new one. It's the same thing.
Exactly, and if it was a port, we're gonna get a couple of new characters. We're gonna get a lot of downloadable characters from the original, right? And then we're gonna get probably some new stages. Mm-hmm. And guess what? The online's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be I know.
This is a bet. This is a real big bet.
I'm paying a whole $20 for this. It better be damn good.
I know,
but it has to be. It has to be good.
Right.
And so,
sure.
you can't argue with being able to play an updated, graphically looking port of a Smash Brothers game online in your hands and have it feel buttery smooth. Ideally.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm certainly hopeful, but the proof is PUD and proof as far as I'm concerned, because that one is going to be remain to be seen a little on how it works. But I totally agree with you. Like, it doesn't. One or the other, we're talking about, we want to see that same set of characters. We want to see all our favorite stages, both across this Wii U and 3DS version. Both of those games, even through the DLC, had N64 courses, and those. We want to see those courses again. So it's like you're talking about the same thing ultimately, just with some new characters, run a little more smoothly, and hopefully the online is really doubled down on.
Well, in the vein of what's been missing, right, or what's missing, because this is kind of wrapping it up now, but we got an announcement for Smash Brothers, which is a mega hit game, but I feel like what that did now is create a vacuum for like a mega announcement to drop at E3. Like that would have been the hammer. I'm with you. So totally. I don't know, like what there's got to be something Nintendo's going to announce that's big that they're saving for E3. And I don't know if that's just me being a Nintendo fanboy and just being like, well, there's got to be something there.
Right. Like they said, all the big announcements are definitely going to be there at E3. We're going to have the 4 copies of Animal Crossing and 9 different emblems.
That's right. And all of my Animal Crossing data from the last 4 games will transfer over. It'll be great.
Exactly. And there'll be an Advance Wars on every table. And it'll be glorious. Yes, I'm with you. 100%.
So that's interesting. Something that we could think about for future podcasts. And I want to leave our listeners with. Think about it.
A little tantalizing.
Leave in the comments. What do you think Nintendo's going to announce?
Comment off. Say what's your favorite thing about Nintendo, favorite thing about this pod, favorite thing about this podcast, favorite thing about another Nintendo, favorite vocal critiques. I am definitely with you. It'll be interesting to see how they fuel that, and I think their little tease of the Direct was really the perfect way of doing it.
Yep. Well, I think that wraps it up for us.
I think it does. This brings us to hour 2. So the next thing... No, I agree. This is probably a good run on this one. So, Matt, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you, listener, King D, for making it through this far into the podcast. And as always, you can check us out, Another Nintendo Podcast, on youtube.com. And please share. Or just give it a like, give it a comment. We're extremely fragile.
Listen to it in your car with a friend, and then force them to subscribe.
Get your family in that car. Lock those dang doors and treat them to this a few times over.
Or you're driving your sister to school in the morning.
Get lost. Get very lost. Or unless your sister lives at a satellite campus a few hours away, you're in luck.
Well, it takes 54 minutes exactly to get there.
And drive her friends home. Take the whole lot of them home. You don't go to soccer practice right away. You got a good 45 minutes to an hour to maybe talk about Nintendo with a couple boys that are now friends that you can add them to the list. So
we appreciate it. If you're listening to this, awesome. If you're enjoying it, great. And
if you're not listening to this,
if you're not listening to this right now, then I hope you're enjoying a sweet slumber somewhere.
I hope you're just having a good old slumb. Matt, thanks again. And shall we take us out in the same way we came into this world?
Yeah. So we will see you in yet another Nintendo podcast. And here's a little Luigi's Mansion. Ba-da-da.